Sometimes the most touching life stories do not come from books. Not from movies. They come from real life. Stories that make us stop for a moment. That make us think. That remind us of what truly matters. This is not a story about wealth. Not about fame. It is a story about the silence of waiting. About a love that has no end. About a dog who became an eternal symbol of loyalty. Imagine an ordinary day. In a busy city. Thousands of people passing by. And only one sight draws attention. A dog, sitting, looking in the same direction. Day after day. Never giving up. Today I will tell you that story. The story of a dog who waited. And who never stopped waiting. The story of Hachiko. In this world, there are many stories of a dog's loyalty, but none has touched human hearts so deeply, as the story of Hachiko. He was not just a dog. He was a symbol of love, devotion, and of waiting that lasted until his very last breath. This is the story that reminds us, what unconditional love truly means. Birth and coming to the professor. Hachiko was born in 1923, in Japan. He was an Akita Inu puppy, a breed known for its strength, beauty, and calm, dignified nature. As a young dog, he came into the home of Professor Hachi Ueno, a respected lecturer at Tokyo University. From the very first moment they met, a special bond was formed between them. The professor found in Hachiko a loyal companion, and Hachiko found in his owner his entire world. A routine that became a legend. Every morning, the professor prepared to go to work. Hachiko was always by his side. He watched him, and then walked with him to Shibuya Station, in the heart of Tokyo. When the professor boarded the train, Hachiko calmly waited for the moment he would return. In the evening, as the train's arrival time approached, the dog appeared at the very same spot again. He sat in front of the station, looking toward the tracks, until his master returned. This was their routine. Day after day, month after month, without exception. People soon recognized him. For them, it was a heartwarming sight, a dog faithfully waiting for his friend. The tragic moment. But one day, in May 1925, everything changed. Professor Ueno suddenly suffered a heart attack at the university, and passed away. That day, Hachiko, as always, waited for him in front of the station. The train arrived, passengers came out, but his master never appeared. The dog remained sitting, gazing toward the tracks. He believed the professor would still return. 9 years of waiting. From that day, 9 long years passed. But Hachiko never stopped coming. Every day, at the same time, he appeared at Shibuya Station. Through rain, snow, wind, or sunshine, he waited. At first, people drove him away, looked at him with little understanding, but over time, the story of the dog who never gave up began to spread. Residents and passers-by fed him, brought him water, cared for him, but no one could fill the emptiness in his heart. His eyes were always fixed on the tracks. He was waiting for only one person. His unwavering loyalty became a symbol of devotion throughout Japan. Journalists began to write about him, and Hachiko became a national legend. Death and the grief of a nation. Hachiko died on March 8, 1935, at the age of 11. The news of his death shook all of Japan. His body was displayed in front of Shibuya Station, the place where people had watched him wait for so many years. That day, thousands of people gathered to pay their respects. The streets were silent, but filled with reverence. People bowed their heads and laid flowers, as if saying goodbye to a close friend. He was not just a dog. He was a symbol of love and devotion, that everyone understood. Later, his remains were moved to Aoyama Cemetery in Tokyo, where he was laid to rest beside his owner, Professor Hachi Ueno. And so, after many years of waiting, the dog and his master were finally reunited. Part of Hachiko's fur was preserved and mounted, and today it is kept at the National Museum of Nature and Science in Tokyo, as a lasting reminder of the dog who became a symbol of eternal loyalty. Monument and eternal glory. Even during his lifetime, in 1934, a bronze statue was erected in front of Shibuya Station. At its unveiling, Hachiko himself was present. That statue still stands there today, as one of the most famous meeting spots in Tokyo. And every year, people gather to honor the loyal dog. His story outlived time. Movies and documentaries were made, and the most famous is the 2009 film starring Richard Gere, titled Hachiko, A Dog's Story. But the true value of this story is not in the movies, nor in the statues. The true value is in the message he left to the world. Hachiko's message. Hachiko teaches us that love knows no boundaries, that devotion cannot be measured by time, and that loyalty can be eternal. While people rush through life, chasing duties and goals, one dog taught us that the greatest strength sometimes lies in simply waiting for the one you love. And so, even today, almost 100 years later, the name Hachiko is spoken with respect. Because Hachiko was not just a dog. He was a symbol of love that never ends. Hachiko's legacy. The story of Hachiko is not just a memory from the past century. It is still alive even today. His loyalty to Professor Ueno went far beyond one city and one country. It became a universal symbol of love and devotion. Every year, on March 8th, people still gather in front of Shibuya Station. The place where Hachiko once waited is now filled with flowers, with silence, and with respect. A ceremony is held to honor his memory. Generations of Japanese children learn about Hachiko in schools. Visitors from all over the world travel to Tokyo. Not only to see the famous crossing, but also to stand before the statue of the loyal dog and pay their respects. In his hometown, Odate, another statue was built. At the University of Tokyo, a monument was raised to remind everyone of the bond between a professor and his dog. Even Hachiko's bark was preserved on a recording. When it was broadcast on television, people cried, because it felt as if he had come back for just a moment. Hachiko taught us that true love does not end with death. That loyalty does not count the days or the years. And that one heart, no matter how small it seems, can leave a mark on the entire world. That is why his name is spoken with reverence. Because Hachiko was not just a dog. He was a friend who showed humanity what it means to love unconditionally. And to wait. Forever. If this story touched your heart, share it with others. Leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one.